This lesson focuses on length, in particular word problems, and those that we would find in examination papers. This topic can be a minefield for some people because it incorporates lots of different areas of numeracy, including multiplication, subtraction, addition, and so on. But the biggest obstacle, and the one that we're going to look at first, is being able to convert your lengths. It's essential that we know how to convert lengths. So 1 centimetre is the same as 10 millimetres. 1 metre, if we think of a metre stick, is the same as 100 centimetres. And our last one, 1 kilometre, that we would normally measure large, long distances in, for instance, one town to another. Well, 1 kilometre is 1,000 metres. These facts are very important and we must remember them when it comes to converting lengths. So if you notice how the numbers are getting bigger, 1 centimetre is 10 millimetres, 1 metre is 100 centimetres, 1 kilometre is 1,000. Ruby competes in a bike race. The race is 1 kilometre long. How far has she cycled if she is halfway? Give your answer below. So first off, we need to highlight a few of the important bits of information in our word problem. So she is competing in a bike race that is 1 kilometre long, and we need to work out how far has she gone if she is halfway. And if we notice in our answer, we have to give our answer in metres. This question is testing our ability to convert lengths. So we have our 1 kilometre race, and we need to work out what half of that 1 kilometre is. So first off, we've got to do some converting. 1 kilometre is 1,000 metres. And we need to work out half of that, so we divide it by 2. 2 into 10 goes 5 times. 2 into 0, 2 into 0 goes 0. So my answer is 500 metres. A road is 2 kilometres long. It has a lamppost every quarter of a kilometre. How far into the road is the lamppost at 3/4 of a kilometre? Again, the question is testing our ability to convert lengths from kilometres to metres. A quick little drawing can help lots of people to understand this question. So if you have a 2 kilometre road, and we have a lamppost at every quarter of a kilometre. 1/4, a half, 3/4, 1 kilometre. 1 1/4, 1 1/2, 1 3/4, and to the end is 2 kilometres. The question asks, how far into the road is the lamppost at the 3/4 of a kilometre mark? So there's our 1/4, 2/4 of a kilometre, 3/4 of a kilometre. So this far into the road. So we have to convert 3/4 of a kilometre into metres. Well, if 1,000 metres is 1 kilometre, we have to work out 3/4 of that. 500 metres is half a kilometre. So if I have that again, to get 250 metres, and here is my 3/4, so 750 metres. A room is 7.5 metres long. Lewis buys carpet that is 9 metres long. How much extra carpet has he got? So we'll do some underlining of our important bits of information. The room is 7.5 metres long. He buys carpet that's 9 metres long. And I need to work out how much extra he's got. So we draw ourselves a little bar model. There's my 9 metres long room. He buys 7.5 metres worth of carpet. I need to work out this extra bit that is left over. So as we can see, it is a subtraction sum. Got 9 metres. I have to take away 7.5. 0 take away 5 we cannot do, so we're going to do some exchange. 9 becomes 8, I bring over my 1. 10, take away 5 is 5. Decimal point in, 8 take away 7 is 1. So this remaining bit of carpet is 1.5 meters in length. A book is 18.5 centimeters wide and 20.1 centimeters long. What are these measurements in millimeters? Again, the question is testing our knowledge to convert lengths. This time, centimeters into millimeters. So 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. So if I'm going from centimeters to millimeters, I'm multiplying it by 10. So if I take my first measurement, the width of the book, 18.5, and I have to multiply that by 10. When we're multiplying by 10, especially when there's a decimal point involved, we're just moving our decimal point one place to the right because there's 1 0. So my answer is 185 millimeters. My second measurement, the length of the book, 20.1 centimeters. Again, we have to times it by 10 to turn it into millimeters. Because there's a decimal point, it's a matter of moving that decimal 1 point to the right because there's 1 0 in 10. 201 millimeters. Callum kicked the ball 20.55 meters, but Mason kicked the ball 20% further. How far did he kick it? Quite a difficult question. Not only are we working with length, but we're bringing in percentages. So 20%, we put it into a fraction, it's going to help us. So how many 20s are in 100? There's 5 of them. So 20% is 1/5 as a fraction. So we need to work out 20% of 20.55. So we have to divide it by 5 to find 1/5 of it. So 5 into 20.55. 5 into 2 does not go. 5 into 20 is 4. Decimal point in. 5 into 5 is once. 5 into 5 is once. That is in meters. So this tells me how much further it was that Mason kicked the ball. He kicked it 4.11 meters further. So I've got to add that to the original distance that Callum kicked the ball. So Callum kicked the ball 20.55. Mason kicked it 20% further, which we worked out to be 4.11. So we've got to add it on. 5 and 1 is 6. 5 and 1 is 6. Decimal point in. 0 and 4 is 4. And then 2 at the end. So the ball was kicked 24.66 meters. From Bangor to Belfast, it is 22 kilometres. Belfast to Dublin is 10 times this distance. How far is it from Belfast to Dublin? Well, let's underline the important pieces of information. Bangor to Belfast, 22 kilometres. Belfast to Dublin, 10 times this distance. How far from Belfast to Dublin? And this is a very important bit, 10 times the distance. So the distance is 22 kilometres, and we have to work out 10 times that. So all we're doing is multiplying 22 by 10. 220 kilometres. My fruit winder is 1 metre long. If I eat 1/4 of it, how much have I eaten? Again, let's underline some of the important pieces of information. It's 1 metre long. I eat 1/4 of it. How much have I eaten? So I need to find out 1/4 of 1 metre. So this question we've got to do a little bit of converting first. So 1 metre is 100 centimetres. And I have to find 1/4 of that, so I divide it by 4. 4 into 1 does not go. 4 into 10 goes twice. 2 left over. 4 into 20 goes 5 times. We've worked out then that the answer is 25 centimetres have been eaten. What are the measurements of this rectangle in millimetres? Its length is 16.5 centimetres. Its width is 8.9 centimetres. This question is testing our ability to be able to convert from centimetres into millimetres. So as we already know, 1 centimetre is the same as 10 little millimetres. So to get from centimetres to millimetres, I have to multiply it by 10. So I take my first length of 16.5 centimetres and I multiply it by 10. Again, pretty straightforward because we're multiplying by 10 and there's a decimal involved. We move our decimal one place to the right. So my answer is 165 millimetres. My other measurement, the width, 8.9 centimetres. Again, we times it by 10 to turn it into millimetres. And all we're doing is moving our decimal point one place to the right, because there's 1 0, to get an answer of 89 millimetres.